Okay, we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with this evening's live stream, 7:40 p.m. It is the 4th of November. It is also, and today, as always, we'll be looking at some of the main stories that have caught my attention in the press here in Spain today. Here I am. I've been missing there for a while. I'm on track now. Looking at some of the main stories that have caught my attention in the press today in Spain. Also, some comments that have been left on the channel in recent times by viewers, and then we'll go into the live chat section. Sorry, if I can get that word out around the 20-minute mark of this evening's live stream and check out what is happening in that live chat section. So hope you stick around for that. Now we'll get straight into the news, and the first article here, as we can see, Carlos Mazón, the president or the ex-president of the Valencian community, has resigned as president after the Dana funeral tensions. Carlos Mazón has resigned as president of the Valencian community days after the state funeral for the victims of last year's devastating Dana flood. In a brief statement without questions, Mazón said the Generalitat, or the Valencian government, needs a new era and urged that his departure not be used to fuel hatred or blame. He admitted that the emotional pressure on him and his family had become unbearable, adding, "I can't go on." The decision follows public anger from some victims' relatives who confronted him at the funeral, accusing him of his government of mismanaging the emergency. Mazón acknowledged having made mistakes on the day of the disaster, though he insisted none were due to bad faith. He will not call early elections and will remain a regional MP, asking the parliamentary majority to agree on a successor. He also thanked the King and Queen for their support and repeated criticism of the central government's response to the disaster. So finally, some people would say Mr. Mazón has resigned from the position as the president of the Valencian community. He's going to hold on until somebody takes his place. He's not stepping down from politics altogether, which is also considered to be controversial because we know what possibly would happen to him if he doesn't have the immunity, let's say, of being a politician here in Spain. He could face trial for what happened on that day, as other people are currently facing. People that were involved on that fateful day, and so we'll see who his successor is. And this has caused a political earthquake not only in the Valencian community but in the whole country, because the socialist side, the socialist political party, would like to get their hands on the Valencian community, and now they think they are in with a chance. But one political party is standing in the way, and that is Vox. And of course, lots will depend on Vox because they are in a coalition scenario in the Valencian community. So interesting times for Spain, interesting times for Valencia, and interesting times for Mr. Mazón, who will now go into the parliament, try to get some type of anonymity, I think. But it's not going to be easy because the victims, the families of the victims in that Dana tragedy, are calling for blood in the Valencian community. They want Mr. Mazón to face trial for negligence on the day, and they've made it quite clear. They're not blaming the weather, they're blaming political incompetence, and that's what they want to see. That's what they want to get justice for, the so-called, as they are claiming, political incompetence from people like Mr. Mazón. Mr. Mazón is blaming the central government, but the victims clearly blaming Mr. Mazón. Second piece of news here on the screen now, and 11%, believe it or not, of Spanish workers at risk of poverty, the third highest figure in the European Union. Around 11.2% of workers in Spain are at risk of poverty, according to Eurostat data for 2024, the third worst figure in the European Union, only behind Luxembourg, 13.4%, and Bulgaria, 11.8%. Two contrasting countries there. Despite Spain's strong economic growth, the rate has barely improved from last year, 11.3, and remains well above the EU average of 8.2%. Eurostat defines in-work poverty as earning less than 60% of a country's median income, even while employed. The problem reflects a growing gap between wages and living costs, particularly housing. Spain also ranks poorly in chronic poverty, which affected 13.6% of its population last year. By contrast, countries such as Finland, 2.8%, the Czech Republic, 3.6%, and Belgium, 4.3%, report lowest rates of in-work poverty. Experts warn that Spain's figures reveal deep inequality despite its record employment and economic expansion. And no doubt a lot of people will be scratching their head with articles like this, given the state of Spain's economy. There was another press outlet today, Reuters, I think, talking very highly of the Spanish economy, saying that other European countries could learn from what's happening here in Spain. Yet we see articles like this one here, where 11% of Spanish workers at risk of poverty. People with low-income jobs struggling in the big cities here in Spain, where rents have gone through the roof. Food costs have also gone through the roof. Have a conversation with the average Spaniard about the cost of living here in Spain, and they can't believe how much a lot of prices have gone up, especially when it comes to things like dairy products and fruit and things like that. And low wage earners here struggling at the moment, and shocking figures. Luxembourg, we saw, obviously a high income country for a lot of people. Therefore, if you don't get a high salary in Luxembourg, that's the issue. And Bulgaria. So a lot of different countries there when it comes to that report. Third piece of news here now, and we can see Spain among world leaders, or the world leaders in AI use, a new Microsoft report has shown. Spain has emerged as one of the countries with the highest adoption of artificial intelligence, according to Microsoft's most extensive usage analysis to date. The report, based on anomalized data from over 1 billion Windows devices, places Spain 6th globally in AI uptake per capita, with 39.7% of the population using AI tools. Only France, Ireland, Norway, Singapore, and the UAE rank higher. This contrasts with the dominance of the US and China in AI model development, highlighting a divide between where AI is created and where it is most widely used. Microsoft's Vice President Juan Lavista emphasized that success lies not only in inventing technology, but in applying it. Electricity changed the world not because it was discovered, but because it was used to build new machines. However, the report underlines a global inequality. AI adoption remains significantly lower in poorer regions lacking stable electricity, connectivity, and computing access. So not only is the Spanish economy booming currently, but uptake when it comes to artificial intelligence in this country very, very high indeed, as we can see there, and up amongst the world leaders when it comes to using AI. What people are using AI for, I've got no idea, whether it's to do their homework, or whether it's for study purposes, or whether it's just to get general information. I've got no idea. But if you are in Spain and you are using AI currently, it has become your new best friend, whether it's ChatGPT or one of the many other AI models out there. Let us know in the comment section your opinion on it, because maybe you're helping Spain get those high figures of AI uptake. Don't know, but an interesting article, that is for sure. Now we're going to have a look at some comments that have been left on the channel in recent times by viewers, as we can see here. The first one, let me get it on the screen, from Glenn, and it says here, "You are the only channel I have found that talks about current events in Spain. Thanks." Thanks, Glenn, for the comment. And yes, I do talk about current events in Spain, that is for sure, on the videos that I put out. Not the only focus of the channel. I try to broaden the content as far as Spain is concerned, whether it's news, other topics, and people that may be deciding to come here on a holiday or perhaps moving to Spain, those type of things as well. Anything that can be of interest about this country here in Spain. Restaurant reviews as well for people to get tucked into Spanish food if perhaps they're a little bit negative towards Spanish food, opening the doors for that as well. But I'm sure there are other channels out there, Glenn. I haven't seen too many, I will be honest. There's a few in Spanish, of course, which you would expect. A few extreme channels out there as well, putting the news out, but I try to keep a neutral point of view. So thanks for the comment there, Glenn. Another one here from, let me see if I can get this off the screen. Let me see. From Deborah. Well, Malaga was very quiet in the summer. Figures aren't accurate, says Deborah. Thanks for the comment there, Deborah. And to be honest, I don't know. This is related to an article that we saw the other day about Spain's booming tourism industry. Well, the figures, 77 million people visiting the country, international visitors, that is up until the month of September. But of course here, Debbie, I think that was, I'll just get that back on the screen there. Deborah saying there that that is not the case. In her opinion, Malaga, very quiet in the summer. Well, maybe that's just your perception, but the figures don't back that perception up. The figures are saying that it was a booming summer for Spanish tourism. So thanks for the input, Debbie. If anyone else agrees with Deborah's point of view there, let us know in the comment or the chat section. Was Malaga booming or was it dead, like Deborah says? Let us know in that comment section. Another one here from Patrick. The Brits will keep coming as they know Brexit is their own fault, plus Spain continuously gives them what they want. Good value and safe in the sun. Patrick, thank you very much for the comment, and again related to something that we saw the other day, the related to that tourism article, the booming Spanish tourism sector, and the number one group of individuals coming from a foreign country or foreign countries to Spain from the United Kingdom, whether it be the English or the Scots or people from Northern Ireland, Wales, heading down to Spain, get some sun on their bodies, as we saw there. Let me see if I can get that one back on the screen. Good value and safe in the sun, and that is what a lot of people are looking for. Value for money. Does the pound go as far as it used to? No. Is Spain as safe as it used to be? I don't know. But safe in the sun, according to that comment there. And Spain will remain being a popular destination for British holiday makers. And let's hope that is the case, because a lot of parts of the country do depend on British holiday makers, that is for sure. Another one here from Marianne. Really enjoying these village tours. Noted early in the video, Camino shells along with a cross of St. James on the wall, marking it as the Camino de Uclés, a secondary pilgrimage connecting Madrid to the monastery of Santiago in Uclés, Cuenca. Gigi and I have walked many Caminos. Perhaps she has walked this route. Thanks for the interesting tours. Marianne, thank you very much for the comment. And yes, the village tours that I have been doing in recent times, going to a lot of these small, lesser known places. And when you go there, you understand why not many people go there. Some of the places are fairly shocking, some of the housing and things on offer. There's normally a very nice church in these places. Obviously, they try to maintain that heritage, the religious buildings, but not much else going on, I'm afraid, in many of the places that I visit, and they're very close to some big cities here in Spain. Why people are not willing to commute from these places to Madrid every day, I don't know. Swell the populations in these towns, again, no idea, but it's a shame to look at some of these villages and the state that the housing especially is in there. And yeah, the Camino de Uclés. Uclés is a small, sort of like a village, I would say. I went there last year, maybe the year before, did a video. An impressive monastery there. I think it was a monastery, or yeah, it's a huge building anyway. The town, not much going on, but it is in the province of Cuenca, just off the A3 road that takes you from Madrid to the Valencian Community, or Murcia or Alicante, or wherever you're going. You'll go past Uclés and you can see the impressive monastery from the motorway. Impressive building, I will say. Thanks for the comment there, Marianne. Another one here from Yellard. I don't think I can live somewhere so quiet. Must be very bad for teenagers. I think a place in a town or close by of at least 25,000 is necessary. Personally, I want 100,000 population. Yellard, thanks for the comment, and I'm sure lots of people have the same idea as you. They need more of a big city, more of a bigger population, things to do, things to see, things to keep you occupied rather than these smaller towns. And for the youth of these towns, it's an issue, I will say. Not much going on. There's no cinemas in places like this. If you want to go to have any decent nightlife, you probably have to jump in the car, which mean there are restrictions, of course, for drinking alcohol and things like that, which is a very popular pastime amongst the Spanish youth. And the roads are quite windy, quite dangerous in those parts of the world. And young people, a lot of young people, as soon as they get the opportunity, pack their bags and head to somewhere more interesting, I would say. But thanks for the comment. But people that do live in these smaller towns, each to their own. I'm sure they are perfectly happy there. Is that the last one? Second last one. Last one here now from PD, Philip. Ola Stew, with hitting 100,000 subscribers, will YouTube send you a plaque or something like that as an acknowledgement? Philip, thank you very much for the comment. Other people have asked the same question. Will YouTube be sending me a plaque? Well, YouTube don't send you anything unless you ask for it. There's a form that you need to fill out, which I have already done because I want to get my hands on the plaque just in case the subscriber count drops and I'm no longer eligible. So I've applied for the plaque. When it arrives, I don't know. Apparently, it's gone to some type of committee which is analyzing all of the different data, and they'll decide whether or not I am worthy of the YouTube plaque or badge or whatever it is that they send you. But I have got a little tick next to my channel's name, which I also had to apply for. Again, they don't just hand these things out unless you solicit them. So thanks for the comment there, Philip. Now into the live chat. I need to go. The background drop has been visible throughout the live stream so far. It was taken by Marilyn, and it's the road to Montserrat in Catalonia. Barcelona, I think, is the province there. And Marilyn recently in Spain doing some type of course, I believe, took this photo on her travels. So thank you very much, Marianne, for sending the picture through. A lovely picture, as we can see here, of the mountainous part just behind the city of Barcelona, as we can see there. If you've got a similar picture you'd like to see on the backdrop, the email address is on the screen there now, spainspeaks@gmail.com. Feel free to send those pictures through. And if you've sent one to me and I haven't used it yet, there could be a reason for it. Maybe the photo was too small to go on the backdrop here. Some people send me photos through that are like thumbnail sizes and they're no good, unfortunately. Or maybe they're in the wrong format. I need the landscape format. 16 by 9, I think, is the numbers. Not the, I think that's 16 by 9, not the 916, which is the Instagram or TikTok photo, which has become very, very popular. And people nowadays seem to be taking the photos like this. Bim, 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 because it's all about social media. But to go on the backdrop here, I need the wider shot, if that makes sense. So do us a favor, if you have sent me a picture through and I haven't used it, maybe send it again if it meets the characteristics, of course. If not, send me one. Everyone's got a photo of Spain, I imagine, in their phone. Also, the like icon is going on the screen now. If you haven't hit it yet, please do so. Just below the video, you will find the like icon. Currently sitting at 43. So if you could do us a favor and hit that like icon, please. It won't cost you an absolute cent. Completely free. So do us a favor, hit the like icon. Also to people that have supported the channel in recent times as well. For some reason, I'll probably have to get out of the way of this. You can't see it there. There we go. Super thanks here on YouTube. Super chat as well. Buying me a coffee. Patreon supporters as well. Very important. My patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for that support. And of course, the channel members on this YouTube channel, thank you very much for that support too. As I always say, it is greatly appreciated, and the channel wouldn't be around if it wasn't for the support that I receive from viewers. So again, thank you very much for that. Now let's go into the chat. I think I saw a super chat in here. Let me see if I can bring it up on the screen now. One from James and Kathy, £2.99. And it is a pair character. It's one of these emoji super stickers, £2.99. Thank you very much for that, James and Kathy. Appreciated. And that'll probably get me a beer at today's prices. Thank you very much for that. Now, let's have a look at the rest of the chat. One here from Jose, very simple. Hi. Thanks, Jose, for that. Janet's in the chat as well, coming in from Oxford, the city there in England. I saw Mazón had resigned in the press here a day or so ago. About time. It was yesterday, I think, Janet, but because I didn't do a live stream, I couldn't mention it. I wanted to bring it to people's attention today, just in case that one slipped through to the keeper, as they say in cricket terminology. Slipped through to the keeper. So, yeah, decided to highlight it today because about time, I would say as well. Why did he stay on for so long? That's the question. What was the reasoning behind it? Was he deaf, tone deaf to what was being said about him? Do you think he had no responsibility in the matter with his 4 or 5 hour lunch on the day of the tragedy when people were literally drowning in the streets? He was sitting in the restaurant and doing whatever he was doing on that day. A very long lunch, I will say. Finishing at after 7 o'clock in the afternoon. And if that's not a long lunch, I don't know what is. And if that's a sign of what other politicians are doing here in Spain, 4 or 5 hour lunches. Sani's in the chat. Been a mild day in Basingstoke. Thanks for that, Sani. High Flyer John is in the chat as well. Hoping the week has gone well. Thanks, John. Hope yours has too. Al, T-O-Al, Uncle Al in the chat. 21 degrees where he is. Christmas decorations are going up in that part of Spain. Thanks, Al. Yeah, well, it is the 4th of November. Christmas decorations starting to go up. That time of the year again. James and Kathy, we saw the super sticker before from them in a mild but a rather wet Worcester. Keeping cozy with the wood burner lit and a glass of wine to watch the live stream. Thanks, guys, for tuning in from Worcester. I got the old bottle of sauce out yesterday, the old Worcestershire sauce. Put it in something that I was making. Added that perfect touch. The perfect touch. What they call here the salsa inglesa. Or maybe that's in Portugal. But anyway, the Spaniards can't get their mouth around the name Worcester, I don't think. Or Worcestershire. Neither can I sometimes. YouTube is coming in from Torrevieja, also ruled by Mazón's PP henchmen, continuously reducing public services while getting fat lining their pockets. Allegedly, we'll throw that in there, YouTubers. We haven't had any corruption cases recently in Valencia spring to mind, I don't think. A few years ago, it was a different story. It was a weekly event 10 or 15 years ago with the old Gürtel case, Valencia. Wow. What else? Bronny's in the chat here too, coming in from Wales. Flooding in South Wales. Heavy rain, raining all day. Interesting. James likes the new format. Yeah, trying it out. The other one went kaput, James, so I had to invent something new. So I watched a couple of videos, a few tutorials on what I could do in the platform that I'm working on here. and realized that I could probably have a green screen, which is what I've got behind me here. I'll turn it off so you can see. There we go. So the green screen, but with my image sort of imposed on top, different to what I was using before, and also gives me that flexibility, as I showed the other day, to change size, which I can do at the there we are, down here now. See, at the pressing of a button here, get back up into the big size. So yeah, I'm learning something new. I'm glad you like it. Armour coming in from Benny Hoffa. Very lovely autumn day. Also here, I think it's changing tomorrow or maybe the day after. Some rain set to hit this part of Spain. Not sure where you guys are. Josefina, I didn't see the broadcasts of this year's funeral. Were there terrible outbursts against Mazón? Yes, Josefina, there were terrible outbursts at the funeral. Mr. Mazón was sitting there, quiet, not talking to anybody, and people were shouting out words like murderer to him. Now, I don't think he took it well. Joe, valued member, coming in from California. My phone's calling here. Somebody from, where are they calling from here? Barcelona. It's one of these spam calls. Anyone here in Spain getting these calls, you don't know the number coming from a place that you're not living in, don't answer them, because apparently as soon as you take the call, it could be one of these spammers checking to see if it's an active number or a live number. Then, of course, they bombard you with phishing and things like that. Sorry, Joe, back onto you. Buenas tardes, Stu. Happy to join the live. Been quite a while since I was able to catch it live. Glad I have. The weather update, California, sunny. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for that, Joe. Good to see you back. John is in the chat here as well. Good evening, Stewie, says John. Thanks, John. YouTube is also saying another reason Westminster left the EU, they'd be bottom of any Eurostat figures, says YouTubers. So hinting that perhaps statistically the UK not going very well. Constantino saying sometimes politicians need to be in a position for a length of time to qualify for receiving a pension. That could be the reason Mr. Mazón has held on for so long. He wants to get that lifetime pension. But he could end up in jail. I know he wants the safety of not being able to be prosecuted being a politician. I know that's what he's trying to hold on to, but the pension could be another reason. Erica in the chat here too, coming in from a mild and sunny Terrassa, waiting for Thursday, Friday, yellow warning for heavy storms. There we go. They might get some rain in that part of Spain, Catalonia. Hike ranger sitting on the 11th floor, just steps from the ocean while watching this channel, sipping Ferencio Rojas. Life is good. So maybe hike ranger back in Spain. If that is the case, hope all goes well with the trip. Hike. Marcus saying, I hope Microsoft and others aren't going to use the alleged popularity of AI in Spain to install their awful AI computer warehouses here. Don't know. I know they suck up a lot of energy, those warehouses, and becoming very, very common across the United States. A deal could be done. I'm sure the Spanish government would be willing to get some more money into the coffers. Regina, hi, I use AI every day to get information quickly, better than Google. Yes, Regina, that is what a lot of people are doing it for nowadays, and some people are even saying it's at the end of Google, or the way that we use Google or have been using Google in the past. I don't know. Google, of course, is up there on AI. But Google became a verb, didn't it? To Google something. Maybe we'll change that. We'll say, I don't know. I AI'd it. Or I chat GPT'd it. Or whatever the other AI models are. Thanks for the comment. Marianne in the chat, coming in from San Diego, no longer on daylight savings time. Stuart wearing a jacket that I like. Yeah, I like this jacket. It's why I wear it a lot, Marianne. It's warm. Even on the cold day here, just with this jacket on, I can normally withstand the cold. If it gets very cold, no. I might have to put, something underneath or wear a different type of jacket with more padding. But this one normally gets me by quite well. Michael in the chat, valued member, first time ever on the live chat because I'm actually in Valencia for 3 weeks. Thanks, Michael, for that. Good to see you in the live chat for the first time. Thank you for joining in. Hope all is going well in Valencia. You are enjoying it. If you see Mr. Mazón having a coffee, say g'day. Al, confused between AL and AI. Yeah, a lot of people are, Al. Especially if you use a lowercase l. Janet saying, I don't think the Brits come because they know it's their own fault. That's not a reason. Doesn't make any sense. The sun and warm sea and cheaper food and wine is the reason. Thanks, Janet, referring to a comment that I read out a little bit earlier in the broadcast today. Somebody saying that British people have realised that Brexit was their fault. Janet doesn't agree with that. And, coming here for the sun and warm sea, cheaper food and wine is the reason. No doubt, Janet, that is probably the main reason. I'm sure that if the UK was still in the European Union, the numbers would still be high, perhaps higher. Andrew, to be honest, I don't see or feel that in Amariña it's booming, just saying. Yeah, a lot of people would agree with you, Andrew. A lot of people not feeling the upbeat Spanish economy, especially in their back pocket or wherever they keep their cash. A lot of the big companies are taking advantage of this because all of the European funds have been funneled through a lot of the big companies. Everyone's in there getting their cut. Numbers are up, the stock market's up. That's one of the reasons why the Spanish economy is booming. They're creating jobs. Jobs are being created, and of course, thousands and thousands of people are coming into Spain from other countries, namely South America, to fill the jobs. Low salaries, of course. Economy's booming. But people like Andrew and others not seeing it. Not seeing it yet. Will it come down the track? I don't know. Dr. Andres saying young people in Spain refuse to work in agriculture like 50 years ago, creating dead agricultural villages, but not only in Spain but worldwide. Yes, Andres, that is true. Absolutely, I would agree with you. Just let me check my phone. Same person calling again. El Conquistador coming in from Florida, sunny there. Good to see you. What else we got going on here? Let's have a look. James agrees with Janet, the argument that Janet just put forward. Absolutely, why not? Jimbo saying, Happy Melbourne Cup Day. The race that has been run, Jimbo, so we can no longer put some money down on it. Have a bit of a wager, bit of a bet with the bookies. Not sure who won. I think it was a bit of an outsider that won. A wet track, if I believe what I have read. And also a woman jockey. Second time in the Melbourne Cup's history. The race that stops a nation, of course. Australia's richest. Might not be the richest anymore. There might be another one with more prize money on offer. But historically, it has been the richest horse race in Australia. Larry coming in from Cabo Blanco, Tenerife. Good to see you, Larry. Ed coming in from Denver, Colorado. The granite mountain behind you looks very similar to the rocks in Colorado. There we go. Thanks for that, Ed. Seeing the resemblance there between Catalonia and Colorado. YouTubers saying that it wasn't just Mazón's long lunch with the lady reporter. It's why they disappeared for an hour until he acknowledged the disaster at 8:30 p.m. Yeah, those are the questions. And the reporter has been in court this week giving her side of the story. We're still waiting for Mazón's side of the story. He's put out a lot of different stories. YouTubers, we're sat in shorts and underwear in Torrevieja. No warm jackets needed there. No. Lots of places on the Mediterranean, no need for the same clothes that you have in Madrid. Madrid, a lot of people don't realise this, but it has a very cold winter, at least for me. And compared to some of the Mediterranean parts of Spain, it's cold. It is cold. So good luck to you, YouTubers. Enjoy. And Joe, again, 25 degrees indoors with the fan on in Lanzarote. So why am I here? That's the question I'm asking myself constantly. Why am I here in Madrid? Well, the answer is quite simply, if you want to work in Spain, you've got to live in a big city. On that note, I'm going to wrap the video up today. It's been a pleasure as always. Back again on Thursday with another one. Hope to see you then. Until that day, thanks for your contributions today in the live chat. Until Thursday, hasta luego, hasta entonces, adios, and bye-bye. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go.